Salmon is a fish with high economic and nutritional value, so their fishing is carried out according to strict and scientific processes to ensure product quality and protect aquatic resources. Salmon often live in cold water areas, migrating from the sea to rivers to spawn. So salmon fishing mainly takes place during the spawning season when they return to freshwater rivers. There are two main methods for catching salmon: wild fishing and farming and harvesting. In the wild fishing method, fishermen use gill nets, purse seines or fish traps placed along the fish's migration routes. These tools are specially designed to not injure the fish and to select qualified salmon. In areas with strict protection regulations, salmon fishing must be licensed and strictly controlled in terms of quantity. Meanwhile, the method of catching from aquaculture systems is more popular in many countries such as Norway, Canada or Chile. Here, salmon are raised in offshore net cages or large tanks under strictly controlled conditions. From water source, temperature to food, when the salmon are mature, people use specialized nets or suction pumps to bring the fish to the processing, slaughtering and freezing area. This method not only ensures stable output but also contributes to limiting overfishing of wild salmon, helping to protect the ecosystem, whether wild caught or farmed. The process requires precision, high technique and compliance with food safety and hygiene regulations as well as environmental protection. After the salmon is caught, the preservation and transportation process also plays an extremely important role in maintaining the freshness and nutritional value of the fish. Immediately after harvest, the fish are put into a rapid cooling system with ice or cold seawater with temperature control, helping to prevent decomposition. Next, the fish are transferred to the processing facility, where they are classified by size, weight and quality. Qualified fish will be cleaned, the organs removed, then filleted or kept whole depending on market demand. The processing takes place in an environment that ensures absolute hygiene, often applying modern technology such as IQF to retain the natural flavor and quality of the fish meat. After that, the salmon is packaged in specialized packaging, vacuum sealed or in boxes with a cold keeping lining, and then consumed domestically or exported to international markets. In the entire chain from fishing to consumption, participating units must strictly comply with food safety standards, traceability and environmental protection. Thanks to modern technology and effective management, the salmon fishing and farming industry today not only meets the growing demand of consumers but also contributes to promoting sustainable economic development for coastal and cold water areas around the world. In addition, modern salmon fishing and farming are also associated with international standards such as ASC, Aquaculture Stewardship Council, or MSC, Marine Stewardship Council. To ensure sustainability and environmental friendliness, these standards require farms and operators to be transparent in water management. Use feed of clear origin. Do not contain banned antibiotics and limit negative impacts on the surrounding environment. At the same time, measures to protect fish health are also focused on, such as disease surveillance, preventive vaccination and maintaining appropriate stocking density to minimize stress and risk of infection. On the other hand, In wild fishing, the application of satellite and sonar positioning and tracking technology also helps fishermen increase fishing efficiency, reduce the amount of unwanted fish caught in nets and limit overfishing. These advances not only improve the output and quality of salmon supplied to the market but also demonstrate the transformation of the seafood industry towards sustainable development, harmonizing economic benefits and responsibility to nature. Thanks to that, salmon is not only a delicious and nutritious dish but also the result of an elaborate, modern and dedicated production chain of many workers in the fishing and aquaculture industry around the world. Not only stopping at economic value, salmon also plays an important role in the culinary culture and life of many countries. In Japan, salmon is an indispensable ingredient in sushi and sashimi dishes. In Europe and North America, smoked salmon, pan-fried salmon or salmon salad are popular dishes, appearing in both daily meals and luxury parties. Therefore, the demand for salmon consumption is increasing, putting no small pressure on the production industry. To adapt, many countries have stepped up research and applied high technology to the production process, such as using AI to monitor fish health, automate feeding, control water quality and living environment. Some places have also developed indoor recirculating aquaculture systems, RAS, which help save water, are easy to control and can be deployed far from the sea, even in places without natural cold water sources. Thanks to that, salmon can be farmed on a larger scale, more stably and less dependent on natural factors. However, along with that development, issues such as feed quality, animal welfare, environmental impact and market competition pressure are still challenges that need to be solved. Building a sustainable, efficient and responsible salmon industry is a common goal of many countries, not only to meet global consumer demand but also to preserve valuable natural resources for future generations. The future of the salmon fishing and farming industry depends largely on the ability to balance economic benefits and ecological protection. International organizations, governments and businesses are increasingly working together to establish strict management policies, control output, plan farming areas and monitor product quality. In addition, consumer awareness is also increasing. They are not only interested in price and taste but also pay attention to the origin, production process and environmental friendliness of salmon products. This is the driving force for producers to invest in clean technology. Improve farming and fishing methods towards greening and closing. Many current salmon farming models are also combined with ecotourism, educating the community about protecting water resources and natural ecosystems, thereby spreading the message of sustainable development. In general, salmon fishing and farming is not only a simple economic sector but also an important part of the green development strategy. In harmony between people and nature, preserving and developing this industry in a scientific and responsible manner will contribute to ensuring food security, creating jobs for millions of workers and protecting the marine, river, lake ecological environment in the face of increasingly unpredictable changes in the global climate. With such great contributions, the salmon fishing and farming industry has today become an important link in the global food supply chain. In many countries such as Norway, Chile, Canada or Japan, salmon is not only a key export product but also a symbol of advanced technology and sustainable management capacity in the seafood industry. Every year, millions of tons of salmon are supplied to the international market, serving diverse consumer needs from Asia to Europe and America. To maintain this position, businesses and management agencies must always innovate their thinking, focus on investing in scientific research, preserving purebred fish breeds, improving the quality of food sources and enhancing the efficiency of natural resource use. At the same time, international cooperation in sharing experiences, transferring technology and controlling fish diseases is also being increasingly promoted, especially in the context of climate change and environmental pollution that are clearly affecting the productivity and quality of salmon. From a wild fish species living in icy rivers, salmon has embarked on a journey to become a high-class food favored by the whole world. Behind each delicious piece of fish on the dining table is a process of hard work, meticulous techniques and tireless efforts of many people in the seafood industry. Therefore, understanding and appreciating the value of salmon is also a way for us to honor the achievements of labor and contribute to preserving the sustainability of this valuable food source in the future. In addition to the achievements, the salmon fishing and farming industry is also facing many challenges that require proactive and flexible management. One of the most worrying issues today is the impact of climate change. With increasing sea temperatures, ocean acidification and changes in natural river flows, seriously affecting the life cycle and habitat of salmon, these changes make it difficult for salmon to migrate at the right time, reduce their ability to reproduce and increase mortality, especially in wild salmon populations. In addition, raising salmon at high densities in sea cages also increases the risk of spreading diseases and parasites such as sea lice, while creating great pressure on the aquatic environment due to excess food, waste and chemicals used to treat diseases. Faced with this situation, many scientific studies are focusing on alternative biological solutions such as using fish to clean parasites. Developing disease-resistant salmon breeds, or improving recirculating farming systems to limit discharge into the environment. In addition, the application of sustainable certification standards is also becoming a mandatory requirement for salmon products to access demanding markets such as Europe or North America. Although these challenges are great, they are also opportunities for the seafood industry in general and salmon in particular to improve their level, aiming for long-term, stable and more environmentally friendly development than ever before. In the near future, the development of digital technology and artificial intelligence, AI, is expected to create a breakthrough for the salmon fishing and farming industry. Automatic underwater monitoring systems, AI cameras and biosensors have been widely deployed to monitor fish health, measure water quality, and detect early signs of abnormalities for timely handling. Thanks to big data, modern salmon farms can optimize diets, control reasonable stocking densities and minimize environmental risks. Some models even use robots to clean cages or harvest fish, significantly reducing human labor and improving production efficiency. Not only in the farming sector, blockchain technology is also being applied to the salmon supply chain to ensure clear and transparent traceability, create consumer trust and expand international markets. This is especially important in the context of modern consumers increasingly interested in transparency, safety and ethics in food production. Thus, with the support of science and technology, the salmon industry is not only able to overcome current difficulties but also open up many new opportunities for development in a modern, Smart and sustainable direction. This is the inevitable path for salmon to continue to affirm its position in the global food industry, not only as a valuable source of nutrition, but also as a symbol of innovation, responsibility and a green future, ultimately. The success and sustainability of the salmon fishing and farming industry cannot be separated from the role of the community and consumers. Green consumerism, that is, choosing environmentally friendly products with clear origins and produced in a humane manner, is increasingly widespread, especially in developed countries. Today's consumers eat salmon not only because it is delicious and nutritious, but also because they know that their choices can directly affect how the fish is farmed, caught, and the natural environment is preserved. Therefore, many organizations and governments are strongly promoting public education campaigns and propaganda about protecting salmon resources and the importance of responsible consumption. On the other hand, investment is also being made in protecting and restoring salmon's natural habitats, such as cleaning up rivers, building fish migration systems, or restoring watershed forests, to ensure that wild salmon still have a chance to survive in the wild. All of these efforts show that salmon is not just a food product. But also a symbol of the relationship between humans and nature. Keeping salmon alive and on our plates is not just the responsibility of the seafood industry, but also the responsibility of society as a whole, from producers, scientists, governments to individual consumers. When everyone works together, salmon will not only be the red gold of the ocean, but also a living testament to the sustainable and harmonious development between humans and the environment in the modern era. Moreover, the story of salmon is also a vivid lesson about the adaptability and resilience of nature, something that humans can learn from in the current challenging era of climate change. Salmon, from being born in cold streams, travel thousands of kilometers across the ocean, then return to the exact place where they were born to reproduce. Regardless of dangerous rapids or strong currents, that journey not only demonstrates strong instincts but also symbolizes the strong bond between animals and their living environment. Therefore, protecting salmon also means preserving precious river and sea ecosystems. Which countless other species also rely on for survival. In many countries, salmon are also part of indigenous cultures, beliefs and traditional ways of life, especially for indigenous communities in North America, where salmon are considered a sacred gift from the ocean. Restoring salmon populations and keeping them from disappearing because of human activity is therefore not just an ecological or economic issue, but also a cultural and ethical responsibility. The salmon, with its arduous and meaningful journey, reminds us that nature always has values that go beyond material benefits, and that the survival of a species can sometimes reflect a deep moral system of humanity. Therefore, protecting salmon today is also a way to protect the future of biodiversity, of sustainable agriculture and fisheries, and of ourselves, as humans living in a world that is deeply dependent on nature from a long-term perspective. Initiatives to protect and sustainably develop the salmon industry are opening up new opportunities not only for the seafood industry but also for the global economy. The adoption of responsible farming methods. The protection of wild salmon populations and the increased conservation of natural ecosystems help create a solid foundation for the development of the seafood industry. At the same time, research and improvements in salmon farming techniques can expand the model of clean, sustainable food production to many other aquatic species, contributing to ensuring food security for the world. This is especially important in the context of a growing global population, increasing demand for seafood and serious threats to natural resources. In addition, the development of sustainable product certification and labeling programs for salmon also plays an important role in increasing transparency and promoting fair competition among producers. Consumers today, especially in developed markets, are increasingly interested in seafood products produced from responsible farming and fishing models. Certification organizations such as ASC or MSC provide consumers with clear information about the origin and production process, while creating incentives for businesses in the seafood industry to innovate and improve product quality. In addition, when we move from harvesting and consuming salmon to developing models of responsible farming and conserving wild salmon populations, we not only protect these fish but also help maintain the stability of freshwater and marine ecosystems, which are habitats for many other important species of animals and plants. Therefore, salmon is not only a consumer product but also an indispensable part of the global natural resource conservation strategy. In general, protecting and developing the salmon industry sustainably requires close coordination between governments, international organizations, the fisheries industry, communities and consumers. When every element in the salmon supply chain, from fishing, farming, processing, to consumption, is carried out responsibly, the industry will not only survive but also thrive. Bringing benefits to people and nature, and through that, salmon will continue to be a source of inspiration, a precious gift that nature gives us, and also a reminder of the responsibility of each individual in protecting the blue planet. To achieve sustainable development in the salmon industry, environmental protection efforts need to focus not only on farming technologies and methods, but also require the active participation of local communities. Coastal communities and traditional fishers have a deep understanding of the natural environment and ecology, and they play an indispensable role in conserving wild fish species. It is the combination of traditional knowledge and modern science that will create more effective conservation solutions that help maintain wild salmon populations in the natural environment, while ensuring the livelihoods of local people.